Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. Those things we did not get to during the course of the show today. Betty Rock had brought something to my attention yesterday, and I wanted to listen to it before we dove into this. And it's the number one song on iTunes right now, and it's called "Facts" by a rapper named Tom McDonald. I don't know his stuff at all.
Michael McDonald.
No, that would be great. But no. But it's basically this rap featuring Ben Shapiro, who is from the Daily Wire, super conservative. And when I first heard this concept, I'm like, oh boy, this could be rough. Because a lot of times when they take somebody that's not what they do, and they put them into a rap thing, it usually doesn't go really well. And this guy, I don't know anything. Again, I don't know anything about this guy other than like. It seems like he is also super conservative, at least by this song. You know, although he looks like he's like dreadlock, tattooed face, everything like that.
What was his name one more time?
It's Tom McDonald, yeah. And so, I mean, he takes on stuff like gender and pronouns, Black Lives Matter, gay pride, defund the police, wokeism. Like, he goes in with all of it. And so I was curious how Ben would do. So here's a little bit of it.
Let's just keep it real facts. Don't care how you feel, man. If you want my pronouns, I'm the man who don't respect.
Let's look at the stats. I've got the facts. My money like Lizzo, my pockets are fat. Dog, it's a yarmulke, homie, no cap. Keep hating on me on the internet. My comment section all woke Karens. And I make racks off compound interest. Y'all live with your parents. Nikki, take some notes. I just did this for fun. All my people download this. Let's get a Billboard #1.
What would Ben do?
It's funny. What would Ben do? You want my pronouns? I'm the man. Like, that's funny to me. And so, yeah. So, I mean, I get why people would hate this. It'd be very controversial, especially if you're like super liberal. You're like, what's going on?
But it's #1 on iTunes. That
I know.
says something.
See, he was smart though. I mean, that's what. I mean, Daily Wire is doing great with this stuff because you paint yourself as the. I don't want to say the victim because there's a lot of things that they talk about that I agree wholeheartedly with that are messed up in our society. But then you're like, okay, we're going to push back. And so then you rally people around behind you for doing something that's self-serving, though. That's the thing. This isn't changing the world. It's getting a #1 on iTunes. And in the song even says, Nicki, talking about Nicki Minaj, I'm doing this for fun. And she actually commented on it, and she said, not bad. So, all right. That was smart of her, too, versus jumping into the political arena on it. I think that was the path of least resistance.
That whole world is built on, dissing and whatnot.
What I couldn't figure out was, like, it looks like they've taken parts of his speech, like, ramblings on the Daily Wire, and then they set that parts to music, but then there's parts where it seems like he's doing a rap. So I'm curious what the creation process was. Like, did they have him go, okay, we want you to rap all this, and it just didn't work, so then like, okay, let's take this and put it together. I don't know, but I mean, it's actually like right from the chorus, like verse 1 is right in your face. If you are liberal, woke, all of the stuff, boy, howdy, you get hit and smack dab in the face. But I do like that, so it was fun.
It's a good, way to fight back against the
man.
Wokeism.
Against the man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, though, too, when you talk about wokeism, like that started off as like not a bad thing. It started off solely about racial inequality. And that was where it started. And like, hey, if you were woke, you realized that there was racial inequality. You supported doing things to change that. But then in typical liberal fashion, they swung so far to the left about like having to do all of these extreme radical leftist things that term then got associated with anything that was crazy town. So it kind of, in a lot of ways, it undermined a very serious issue that we have, and one that hasn't been resolved and probably never will be resolved. But then it got woke now is painted for everything super left, and then we do the opposite on the right. We swing so far hard right. Don't believe me? Look at what our election's going to look like this year. And why is that? Why is there no middle ground? It's because you swung so far left that a lot of people think the only way to combat that is to swing so far right. So we keep ping-ponging, but doing these massive pendulum swings. And for people caught in the middle of that, like I'm in the middle. I'm not super right. I'm definitely not left, but like I'm kind of in the middle of logic. And and we get caught in the middle, like, okay, I don't want to be all the way on the right. I certainly don't want to be on the left. Why can't we meet in the middle? We can't.
Well, I think that's going to be one of was it Nikki Haley's her
Yeah.
greatest, I think, obstacle when it comes to this is that she's not Donald Trump in
Right.
the sense that he is so aggressive with the way that he
Yeah.
combats things, and she approaches things, I think, from a more calm perspective, and she's not throwing punches or, throwing
No.
people under the bus in the way that
She handled herself well. She
Yeah.
took the high ground, and it didn't pay off for her. She's still in, I guess, but I think she's playing the game to wait and see if something happens to Trump where he implodes, and then
Yeah.
she stayed
be
in it
there.
the longest, she would be up, But I don't know. Like, in radio, I was always taught you want to be, on either of the extremes of something. You don't want to be in the middle. The middle gets forgotten. The middle is
It does.
lost. It doesn't get noticed. It's the extremes that get noticed. And so when I was coming up in this job, it was always like push every boundary. That's how you get noticed. Because if you're just someone that people are like, oh, they're fine, you're dead in this business, And I think it's the same way in politics, unfortunately. Like being level-headed and middle ground, you don't get the sound bites, you don't get the time, and you're going to be marginalized, So did you see this story? I got to ask you, did you see this story of this mom? It was during Snowpocalypse, mom in a Walmart, and she is dressed in like warm clothes, and she has her kid in a cart, and the kid is just wearing a diaper. Did you guys see this?
yes.
And people were asking her about it, like, come on, man, what are you doing? And she got so indignant and so arrogant. Like, I could see her going, like, if she had been like, I'm just struggling right now, man, and this is the best I can do, people would have rallied around her and like, been like, let's buy your kid some clothes. Let's go. But she got so arrogant, like, don't tell me, blah, 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 and flipping people off and stuff like that.
Well, when you look at the video, you see the little boy, and I would guess he's probably,
He was 2.
oh gosh, I was going to say 3 or 4, but he's wearing some kind of coat over himself, but it's like maybe her coat. I'm not sure, but he's wearing a diaper, and
Yeah.
that's it. And you can see his little chin shivering.
Yeah,
Like he's
freezing.
obviously cold. And when these people are going up to her and saying like, "What is wrong with you?" She's in the frozen aisle
Yeah.
at the grocery store, and she gets out like a
Bag of peas or something.
and then she throws them on top of this
Yeah.
kid. And so now he's sitting there with frozen peas on his leg, and he's already cold.
That was like insult to injury to me.
Yeah.
That was like, you don't care one bit about your child.
Yeah.
Like, you don't care. You're so into you and what you feel and you think. You don't care about this child that you have created, and that you should probably not have been allowed to create at this time. I'm not saying forever, but maybe you're in a bad place and you just don't know, know? And so, you should not have been allowed to have this kid, honestly. So now this kid is growing up, and he's going to be affected because of this. But she did get arrested, which I was really happy about. Like, I'm like, good. Maybe that will be the thing that jars her enough, you hope, to say, I need to be a better parent to my child, And so she got arrested. But what I did like is there were people there that bought the kid clothes, And I'm like, that's the right thing to do. Like, I think if I had been there, because people were confrontational with her as well, which then that pushes everybody's boundaries up. And I know you think I'm super controversial or confrontational. I legitimately think if I had been in that situation, I would have tried to de-escalate it, pull her to the side and say, look, it's a messed up situation. I'm not here to judge you. I don't know what you're going through. But look, can I do this? Can I go buy your kid some clothes? And let's get him some warm clothes today. And then everyone goes home fine today, And you don't end up on YouTube or TikTok, and your kid gets some nice clothes and it'll be warm, and maybe you learn a lesson in this. But that's not what happened. I mean, it escalated so quickly. And this mom's 26 years old, and you think at 26 you should know better. But apparently not, maybe, and some people, maybe they're not built to be moms. There are definitely people that aren't built to be dads, and that are having kids. And it's sad that the kids take the hit. And so then they had to remove this kid, now this kid's in the system technically. I think some relatives did come and get him. But that's going to be a mess now, and it was just a crazy story. It's really maddening at first, but then I did find my empathy bone. And
I found my empathy.
I did. I found it. I had to look. It was deep. It was in between the couch cushions, but I found it. Lady Rock, what do you got?
Whoever runs the social media account for Sesame Street's Elmo got more than they bargained for yesterday. So Elmo's Twitter account recently tweeted, Elmo is checking in. Let me say it like Elmo.
Yeah, please.
Elmo is checking in.
Not bad.
How is everybody? No, I can't do it.
You got to make them symmetrical.
Yeah, it's like semi.
How is everybody doing?
It's like Mickey Mouse-esque, but like younger.
Yeah. My impersonation. Oh, that was good in there, Gavin.
How's everyone doing?
It's like, okay,
that's
you
really
fell
good.
out of it.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
good. You should have stayed committed. You
But he said Elmo's checking in. How is everybody doing? And the responses are
what makes it
dark yet funny.
It's the internet, man. It's perfect
the internet.
Yeah, doing something wholesome on the internet is so
Yeah.
hard because try as you might, and it might land, and then you might get a couple people that get it and comment on it, and you're good. But it's not long lived.
Well, and two typical tweets, I think get like maybe 100, maybe 1,000, comments
Yeah.
if you're lucky. This one got into the millions.
No, it did not.
Multiple
So great.
millions.
Really?
And
That's
it was
huge.
trending. It was trending on Twitter. I sat there and I just read the comments because
You were dying.
they
It
were
was so funny.
hilarious. And like I said, they're dark yet funny. But I pulled a few for you.
Thank you.
One lady said, "Well, my dog just rolled in goose poop, so thanks for asking, Elmo." One of them said, "Why'd you go and make the streets look fun? This world don't like us, Elmo." One said, "Where do we begin, El Montre?" One said, "Elmo, I got to level with you, baby. We are fighting for our lives." And then finally, another one said, "Elmo, I'm going to be real. I'm at my limit." And the comments keep going. Hilarious. Some businesses got involved and
that's
they
smart.
even posted on it. And Shake Shack was one of
Oh
those.
no, I love Shake Shack.
They posted and they said some of these replies could benefit from a sweet treat. So hoping to get some notice there.
I would much more respect like a company that like chimes in and it's not like a plug for the company. Like I wish they had bought into it as well. Like somebody from the accountant's like, I work at Shake Shack and I'm considering ending it today, Elmo. If they went that was a horrible example.
Yeah.
But if they went like super dark as well,
Right.
that would carry more weight with me as a company than someone needs a sweet treat. Like I would have, if I had read somebody going like all in like everybody else, I would have been like, I'm going to Shake Shack today. I guess I'm
check on
doom
that
scrolling.
person.
I know. I guess I'm doom scrolling at that point.
But there were some, and I didn't realize this, somebody posted that after all those comments came through, millions of them, Sesame Street, they started tweeting out places you could go to or numbers you could call for mental health crises.
Oh, jeez.
And they're like, what does this world come to where Sesame Street is
Yeah.
having to post these things? Also, too, some of the comments they had to hide. And if you
I
went
bet.
if you went into the hidden comments section,
Yeah.
those were really dark.
Yeah. Betty's like, I spent hours there.
No, but I do think, like, while I know that anxiety, depression is rampant, I think a lot of people get on there just to have a little bit of
Right.
fun.
It's cathartic in some ways, and
but-
you're seeing how you can outdo each other and
Right.
turning a phrase.
But whoever is in charge of Elmo's Twitter account probably was like, oh my god.
They did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Like, don't trust the internet ever.
No.
With things that are wholesome, don't trust the internet. You know, that's the lesson here. Because every once in a while you find that thing that works and it's great, but 9 times out of 10,
it did kind of
devolves.
work because it got a lot of attention and it's trending.
But it's interesting because if you're talking about Elmo and like the product that is Elmo,
Right.
it's a show. It's for
Kids.
kids.
Right.
I don't know what this ramps up for. I don't know what this does for Elmo except is it beneficial to just be a trending thing on the internet
Sure.
one way or another?
Yeah.
Especially, but even when you're a kid's show, is that valuable or
And
no?
well, that's the tricky thing too. Like, so you're Sesame Street, and then you have to post these things of links to get in mental health.
Yeah.
But the reality is, probably 99.9% of those comments weren't from people that are really struggling with mental health. They were for people trying to be really funny, you know.
yeah,
And
join in on the joke.
And yeah, and because it's such this pure thing, you have to go so far to the other side to make it funny, you know. And that's where the humor lies. But you can't, as a company, it's hard to do humor, you know, without like especially dark stuff, and then have to because they, especially a kids thing, they feel like they've got to. Oh, we need a pillow for people to land on here. So, that's good stuff. Lady Rock, do you have any birthdays for us?
I don't, but I do have a question.
I love it. Let's go.
And this is the question that we didn't get to yesterday.
From Melissa?
Yes.
Okay.
Melissa, she said, Betty Rock, Wally, What name would you give Gavin's baby?
Oh,
For a boy or for a girl?
I love this. I think my choice could work for either. You just have to make a short change. Obviously, Wally for a boy or Wallina for a girl. I think would be really good.
I don't want that. I don't want them to have to deal with that.
Peyton would be nice. I think it's funny. We talked about this the other day. We're like, he should name it Caleb because that's his real name. I just think that would be really
funny.
Or I name him Gavin if it's a boy.
That's because when you're done with this job,
if I ever, let's say, go back to Caleb, then Gavin is perfectly usable.
I was talking to someone at church yesterday that knows you as Caleb because your wife works at our church.
Oh yeah,
it was Eric. And he's like our head senior pastor guy. And so he was like, hey, big news about Caleb there. I'm like, Caleb? Who's?
Ew.
Yeah, I'm like, who is, what? And he's like, the baby. I'm like, oh, Gavin. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I know him as Caleb from here.
It is an interesting thing because I get asked that too. Like, oh, does anyone call you Caleb down there? I'm like, not a soul does.
Yeah.
And it would just be gross to hear it down here.
Yeah.
It is a name that is dead to me for
also,
8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Well, and also, too, you just don't come across to me as a Caleb.
No, I never will.
You don't look like a Caleb.
No, you're
you look
Gavin
like a
through and through. Gavin to the bone. Gavin for life. Chief for life.
For 5 years. I literally had another
passed and Caleb was on your tombstone, I'd miss it. I'd be like, who?
You'd get
Where's
an invitation
Gavin?
to a funeral in the mail.
I'd be like, who's Caleb?
I would
Never
take
heard of him.
a...
that guy died a long time ago.
Yeah, what I would do is I would get a not a pressure washer, like a laser cutter and a stone cutter. Or I'd hire a stonemason to go and
This is
remove.
elaborate.
Yeah, it is. It's very elaborate to go and remove the name Caleb from your tombstone and replace it with Gavin.
Rightfully so.
Just like so, your parents would be like, "Dang, what happened?" You know,
Committed to the bit, even
committed.
in death.
What do you think? What would be a good name for baby Caleb Gavin?
What's your middle name?
Andrew. Which we did not use for the radio.
Pandy Andy.
Pansy Andy.
I don't really know.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
Because we name everything, like when we do least of the or name it and claim it.
Oh, name it something like a Harry Potter character.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, Griffin. That's it. That's perfect. Gryffindor. Yeah. Gryffindor.
Kinda like that.
Yeah, that's actually not bad because Griffin works for a guy or a girl.
Good, yeah.
Is anyone in your? Are you a Griffin?
No.
Gryffindor. What are you? I don't even know.
Call it Hufflepuff.
I'm a Slytherin.
You're Slytherin. Okay, but Slytherin isn't as good. Is your wife
Call it a
Gryffindor?
She's Hufflepuff.
Oh my gosh.
Hufflepuff.
How many are there houses?
4.
What are the other 2?
There's Ravenclaw.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Gryffindor,
Raven.
Hufflepuff, Slytherin.
Yeah. You could have gone with Raven or Griffin.
Raven's a good girl name.
Yeah, Raven is a good girl name. But Griffin works for both because you're already doing a, gender neutral, non-binary kid.
Joke's gonna be on you. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be no. We did get a Harry Potter onesie in the mail last night from from Haley's mom.
Oh, nice.
It's gonna be the theme of the bedroom for the nursery.
Oh, there you go. Terrify your child.
It's gonna be the cute stuff.
Oh, is there cute stuff?
Yeah, plenty of cute stuff.
Seems terrifying.
This is my world, guys.
Okay, all right.
It's not all dark wizards and.
It seems
it's simple. It's wholesome.
It's funny that you say the Harry Potter thing because we had Olivia in our Wally Show potty group on Facebook. She said, I'm so excited for Gavin and Haley. Congratulations. What I really want to know is how many Harry Potter onesies this baby will have.
Oh, that's funny.
My guess is 12.
We have 2 so far.
Nice.
One from mom and dad, one from a friend of ours. So it'll keep growing. Man, I can't wait to buy more stuff. But also, I'm very much horrified of the amount of clothing from 0 to 3, from 3 to 6, from 6 to 9, and then age, and then age, and then 8.
Yeah.
It's just I can't. That's in my head a lot
People
these
that
days.
buy their babies, their infants, Nike shoes are ridiculous.
I heard someone recently say don't buy shoes until they're a year old.
No, because they grow so fast. You put little socks on them and stuff like that.
They're
They're
not gonna be
crawling
walking.
anyway.
Yeah.
It's because all of a sudden, everyone dresses their baby like they wish they could dress. And so they dress their baby all hipster and stuff. And they get them little hats and suspenders and all these shoes. And it's so expensive. And the kid's just going to throw up on it. That's all they do is they throw up on everything. It's like having a cat.
I wonder if your baby will have the acid reflux like you do.
It's my bad today.
Oh, is it really? Oh, that would be bad.
Or
I
if
hope
it comes
not.
out with a beard.
Joyce did. Remember Joyce had that really bad
They'll have like that
acid reflux?
Was it colic at the beginning?
Yeah, Haley had a touch of colic. That's
I know
not fun.
that'll be an issue where I'll be like, I get it, buddy.
Yeah,
Or
Haley had
baby.
that. She also had jaundice. We had to take her home. We had to put her in this little incubator thing, basically, with Billy Rubin lights, they call them. And then part of the thing was funny, too. We had to, like, sit her in a window, like just
a
the
plant.
sun. Yeah, literally. You put her in her bouncy seat and put her just in her diaper and put her in the window. And that vitamin D from the sun was helping to counteract the jaundice, which is crazy. But then you couldn't forget her and leave her there too long. You know, 'cause
Sunburn.
yeah, she looks like
She's
that.
really tan.
What was that, Tan Mom on the internet? She looks like Tan Mom, like at 3 months old.
You can also
or month
hear
old.
baby Haley in the window going, "What day?"
I've got too much sun.
Yeah.
I will say we did just get the like paperwork and the projections on the finances.
What?
of
Who
this-
gave you that?
the hospital?
Oh, but what it would cost?
What the costs that are coming up for this whole experience.
See, now this is where I am like fortunate beyond all belief. My wife and I both worked at Disney when she had a child. And so our bill for Haley back then, because Disney was such a great company for insurance, was $5. She paid one $5 copay in the
What?
very beginning. That was it. She paid that.
What?
And then the entire pregnancy, like we didn't pay a dime the rest
Holy
of the time.
cow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might go look at Disney.
Now that kid has cost me money since then.
Sure,
And
yeah.
Disney has cost me money since
But
then.
Zaddy!
I know.
Community
Isn't that
college.
crazy? Well, what did they say then? Like, because
it's-
you have insurance, so I mean, you
Yeah.
have your deductible.
We do have to figure out. This is a thing that we have to figure out is because it was projections before insurance, so it was stuff. It was money before insurance, so that'll
Okay.
be a thing that we give to insurance. We do have to sit down and figure out because she's on Rolling Hills, our church's
Right.
insurance. I'm here.
Right.
We have to figure out where this kid's going.
Well, who has the better
Who has
insurance?
the better insurance?
Right.
is we
That's
have
what you
to
do. Yeah.
Sit down and figure out because I don't.
Oh wait, she's not on your insurance here though.
She
has
is
her
not,
own. Okay,
no.
yeah. So then she would have to do it on
Yeah.
hers. That's the interesting thing. Like I have never really thought of that before because I don't know that they treat pregnancy like a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though it feels the same. Like, do you have to hit your deductible, your out of pocket maximum? Like, say for her, where she's the only one on her
Yeah.
thing, say it's $3,000. So theoretically, she would hit her maximum of her deductible at $3,000, and that should be all that you are responsible
Sure.
for. Beyond that, like my brother-in-law, he had the triplets, and they were in ICU for 20-something days. And I mean, they were each over $1 million for these babies for their bill. But he
Lord
hit his
help us
out-of-pocket
all.
maximum, and that was it.
Sure.
So I'm curious what that'll look
Yeah.
like for you. But even that, like, say it's $3,000, you got to pony up $3,000.
Yeah, and it's a lot of money, but we're ready to tackle it. But
Yeah. I think
still.
that's what I've forgotten too. Like I'm like, well, I mean, having a baby's expensive, but it balances out. But yeah, if you got to have a baby and it costs you $3,000 right out of the gate, you're like, okay, yeah, that is expensive.
You're right because they don't slow down. It's not like you pay the $3,000 to
Yeah.
have the kid
No.
and they are good and coast for 18 years.
No.
Yeah, keep me updated. I'm curious if pregnancy is a whole different ball game.
You stop paying for them once they turn 18 if
No, you
you're
don't.
lucky.
I was
you
gonna
don't.
say it isn't if
Not
you're
for
lucky
Wally because he's got daddy.
Yeah, no, I'm still on her
my
payroll.
wedding. I need that 14th goose.
I know.
You don't understand.
My love will die without that. Well,
Job.
R.I.P. All right. Well, that's going to do it for your Aftercast here today.
Say it like
Thanks
Elmo.
for. Oh, now I can't.
I know because I want to do Mickey, but then
Yeah. I have to say something first
Elmo's a
and
little
something
bit
to get me
different.
going. Like, you got to make it symmetrical. Like, because there's that one thing, that guy that used to do imitations of him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and he said really wrong things, but this is the one of the clean ones was my favorite. Is he had a scratch on the Elmo doll's eye, and he's like, "Here, Elmo, let me fix that for you." So he redid his pupil with a Sharpie, and he made it giant. And Elmo looks in the mirror, and he's like, "Dude, you got to make it symmetrical," So thanks for being a potty.
Nailed it. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.